Hello everyone. Today I, Anushri Pandey from the Department of Buddhist Studies of University of Delhi will be discussing with you all on module number 28 of paper number 12, Philosophy of Buddhism 1. This module deals with the doctrine of Trikaya. After going through this module, we will be able to understand about the meaning of the word Trikaya, the similarity as well as the dissimilarity between the Mahayana school and the Hinayana school, the meaning of concept of Dharamkaya, the meaning of Nirmankaya, and finally also the meaning of Sambodhkaya. So let's begin. The doctrine of Trikaya holds a very important position in Buddhism. According to this doctrine, there are three bodies of Lord Buddha. This doctrine can be taken similar to the Christian's theory of Trinity. According to the theory of Trikaya, three bodies of Buddha are there. This theory is accepted by the both schools of Buddhism, that is Mahayana and Hinayana. Though they accept this theory, but they accept this in their own way. So, in order to understand, it is important for us to also know what is the major difference between the school of Hinayana and Mahayana, because of which they both accept this theory in different way. The both schools were formed after the fourth Buddhist council which took place in Kashmir. Mahayana literally means a big ship or a big vehicle. So it can accommodate a large amount of people in their ship and take them safely to the nirvana, safely from all the sufferings of this world to the nirvana. Mahayana Buddhism is also known as a path of a bodhisattva because Mahayana saints aims to become a bodhisattva. A bodhisattva is that Buddhist saint who works for the salvation of all other beings by delaying their own nirvana. Mahayana, because of which, became the largest school of Buddhism because this school aims for the universal enlightenment. So, as a result, it also has a large number of followers. So, Mahayana is also known as the Great Council. So, after Mahayana comes the other sect of Buddhism, which is Hinayana. So, as we saw the word Hinayana, it means a small ship. So, the follower of this school believes that only few people have the quality of attaining nirvana. So, the path of Hinayana Buddhism is open only for those who wishes to be an arhat or a perfect monk who focus on their own nirvana and enlightenment. So, this school aims at individual enlightenment, whereas the Mahayana aims at universal. Hinayana calls themselves the teaching of elders, because of which Hinayana also known as the Theravada. Mahayana Buddhism is followed in the northern Asian countries, because of which it is known as the Northern Buddhism. Whereas Hinayana Buddhism is followed in southern Asian countries, so Hinayana Buddhism took shape of southern Buddhism. So these are the two schools of same philosophical school. Therefore, they do share some similarities as well as they do share certain dissimilarities. So let's first see what are the similarities between the two sects of Buddhism, which are Hinayan and Mahayana. First comes the both school, Hinayan and Mahayana, accepts Gautam Buddha to be the teacher as well as to be the founder of Buddhism. The next difference comes is that both completely accept the Four Noble Truths, which are there is suffering, there is cause of suffering, there is cessation of suffering, and there is a way leading to the cessation of suffering. Both the school accepts this Four Noble Truth as it is. Next comes is their complete belief on Eightfold Path, the path following which one can attain liberation. After this, both the school agrees and accepts the doctrine of dependent origination, which is also known as Pratitya Samutpad. According to both the school, there are three folds of training, which are percepts, meditation, and wisdom. They are also accepted in the same way by both the schools. Then, both the schools consist of Buddhist canons, which consist of Sutra, Vinaya, and Shastra. And finally, for both the school, mind is superior than the matter. So these are certain similarities shared between the Hinayana and the Mahayana. Now let's find what are the difference between these two schools. The first difference comes as enlightenment. It is the most major difference between the two schools, and if you see, other difference also comes out because of this difference. As I've told you earlier, Mahayana means big ship or a big vehicle. So follower of Mahayana aims at universal enlightenment because they want to accommodate maximum number in their big ship. So they can take maximum number of people securely to the doors of Nirvana. According to them, every individual who is born in this world are eligible for attaining the stage of Nirvana, because of which they aim at a universal liberation, and they call themselves Mahayana or a big ship. On the other hand, according to Hinayan, as it means a small ship, so they only aim at individual enlightenment. They believe only few people in this world are eligible for attaining the stage of Nirvana. It is not for everyone. Only few can follow the path which leads to Nirvana. So they aim at individual liberation or enlightenment. After this comes the difference of path shown by the Mahayana and the Hinayan. According to Mahayana, as I've told you earlier, that they aim at universal liberation, so path offered by Mahayana is simple, so that maximum number of people can adopt this path so that they can get rid from all the kinds of suffering in this world. In order to achieve this, they keep their path and teaching simple so that every individual can understand the teaching of Buddha. Every individual can follow the teaching of Buddha, and ultimately they can follow the path shown by Buddha. They offer liberation to everyone with the help of knowledge, love, compassion, and faith. Whereas path provided by Heenan is considered to be difficult compared to the path offered by the Mahayana, because they believe in individual enlightenment. So they believe that only few people have that capability of going or following the path shown by Buddha. So they are orthodox compared to the Mahayana. The path shown by them is difficult because they make only those people to take the path who wishes to be Arhat, the perfect saint. The path of Mahayana is not open for those who live a normal life, whereas the path of Mahayana is open for both monks as well as for those who live a normal life. After this comes the difference on the view of compassion. Both agree that compassion is important for one to attain liberation. But Mahayana lays very stress on this compassion. According to them, with the help of compassion, love and knowledge, one can attain nirvana. So for them, compassion is the supreme and the highest virtue. It is even equal to the wisdom. Whereas for the Heenan, compassion is not supreme. They are more rationalist. For them, wisdom comes first and then comes the compassion. So they put less emphasis on the view or the point of compassion. After this comes their different belief in Arhat and Bodhisattva. Mahayana Buddhism aims to become a Bodhisattva, not an Arhat, because of which this school is also known as a Bodhisattvayan, a vehicle which is of a Bodhisattva or a path of a Bodhisattva. For them to be a Mahayanist or to be a Mahayana Buddhist is to become a Bodhisattva. Whereas Heenan believe to become Arhat. Arhat are those perfect saints who keep their full concentration on their enlightenment and nirvana. So, Heenan aims to become the Arhat. They don't follow the teaching or the principle of Bodhisattva. Whereas Mahayana believes in Bodhisattva and not in Arhat. They even follow the teachings of a Bodhisattva. So, Mahayana Buddhism don't restrict itself to the teaching of Buddha. They also follow the teaching of a Bodhisattva. Whereas the Heenan don't follow or don't believe in Bodhisattva. So they restrict themselves to the teaching of Buddha alone. And for them, Arhat is the final stage. By this, we reach to the next difference. This is based on the nature of the school. So as I am telling you, Mahayana is for universal liberation. Its path is for open for everyone. So definitely the school of Mahayana becomes liberal, practical. They accept change time to time. They interpret the teaching of Buddha in a flexible way as long as it does not contradict the main or the central teaching of it. They do this in order to accommodate maximum number of people in their ship. Whereas the Heenyana school follow the teaching of Buddha very strictly. They do follow it without any kind of changes. they follow all the rules made by the Buddha. Whereas Mahayana accept change. They don't follow the traditional rule as it is. So, because of which the school of Mahayana becomes a easier way of path of a Buddhism, and Hinayana is the tough path for the Buddhism. Now comes the basic major difference on which the whole module is going to be discussed, and that is the doctrine of Trikaya. As I've told you, both the school accept this theory, but they don't accept it in a similar way. So let's find out what is this doctrine of Trikaya and what it consists of, and why there is a difference between the Hinayana and Mahayana on this view. Trikaya or doctrine of Trikaya means three bodies of Buddha. This is based on the nature of the Buddha. According to them, a fully enlightened Buddha has three different forms. They are, number one, Dharamkaya, which is also known as the body of truth. Then comes Nirmankaya. It is also known as Rupkaya. This is the body of transformation, the physical body of Buddha. After comes the third body under the Trikaya, which is Sambodhkaya. It is the body of bliss. So now let's study the Trikaya in detail. The word Trikaya is a Sanskrit word which means three bodies. Tri means three, Kaya means body. So Trikaya means three bodies. Three bodies of Lord Buddha, who was the founder of the Buddhism. So, according to this doctrine, Buddha had three kinds of body. Or you can say the existence of Buddha can be visualized in three different forms. They were Dharamkaya, Nirmankaya and Sambodhkaya. Dharamkaya. Dharamkaya is also known as the body of Dharma. It is the body which is said to be the ultimate and the highest body of the Buddha. The notion of Dharamkaya is similar to the notion of God or Brahman in other philosophical schools. Just like in Advaita Vedanta, Brahman is the supreme and it is the ultimate body. Similarly, in Buddhism, Dharamkaya or the body of Dharma is said to be the supreme or the ultimate body of Buddha. According to some Western scholars, Dharamkaya means law, the body of law. According to them, formation of this body took place when Buddha got merged into his teaching or laws after attaining Mahaparinirvana. Therefore, this body deals with the laws made by the Buddha in his teaching. According to Buddhists, Dharamkaya is the ultimate body which manifests into this world in the form of Nirmankaya and Sambodhkaya, the other two bodies under the Trikaya. This body does not consist of any kinds of impurities, passion or desire. This body is completely perfect and pure. Further, the body of Dharamkaya is the universal body. It is not a particular body. and it is free from any kind of origination and destruction. Therefore, Dharamkaya is the eternal body. The body of Dharma is vast. It is unlimited. It does not consist of any sort of boundaries. So it is very vast and infinite body. In Buddhism, the Dharamkaya is equated or compared with the light of a full moon. It is said, just like the light of full moon, it is the light of Dharamkaya, which is very bright. It is so bright that it surpasses the other celestial bodies like stars, planet, or other satellites. Further, just like the reflection of the moonlight falls on various water bodies like pond, lake, or sea, similarly, the light of Dharamkaya falls on every individual of this world. So, this is what the power of a Dharamkaya. In General Treatise of Mahayanism, Asanga gave his view on Dharamkaya. According to him, Dharamkaya, or the body of Dharma of Buddha, is free from all kind of desire, and it is free from all kinds of suffering which is found in this world. It is completely one, real, and it is always true. So Dharamkaya is free from all kinds of suffering, passions, and desire. That is, it directly means it is free from any kind of ignorance which is said to be the root cause of all the suffering which is found in this world. Further, in this work, Asanga also gives few actions which are performed by this body. They are like, number 1, it removes all the evils in this life. Number 2, the body of Dharma or Dharamkaya does not let any evil doer to dominate. In other way, we can say it does not let any evil to dominate. Then this body also eliminates the means of liberation which are not natural or which are not rational, and so on. So, Dharamkaya is a very powerful body of Buddha. It does not make any effort in order to pour all the benefits, all the merits to every being in this world. Therefore, Dharamkaya is totally free from any kinds of effort also. All the actions performed by this body only aims for the benefit, for the happiness, and for the well-being of the living beings. They never perform any action which are against or which are not in favor to the beings in this universe. So this is the Dharamkaya, the ultimate body of Buddha. After this comes Nirmankaya. The second body under the doctrine of Trikaya is known as Nirmankaya. The concept of Nirmankaya can be taken similar to the concept of avatar or incarnation which can be seen in Hindu philosophies. According to this notion, the ultimate body, which I have told is Dharamkaya, comes down in this world in a human form. In other words, we can say that when Dharamkaya comes down in this world and manifests itself under space and time, it is known as Nirman Kaya. Nirman Kaya is also known as body of transformation. It is a physical body. Nirman Kaya is the physical appearance of Dharam Kaya. So here, Nirman Kaya of Buddha becomes the body of Prince Siddhartha, who was born in Sankhya kingdom around 6th century BC. At the age of 29, he kicked all the material luxuries of the kingdom in order to find the truth and the reason behind all the suffering in this human life. And finally, he found enlightenment after 6 years under a bo tree near Gaya. After this, he got converted from a mortal Prince Siddhartha to immortal Buddha. Buddha means awakened one. After getting enlightenment, Buddha decided to teach this fact or this reality of the life to everyone so that they can be also come out from the oceans of suffering. Buddha taught Buddhism throughout his life to everyone, whether a person poor or rich. Buddha taught Buddhism to everyone. So this is the Nirman Kaya of Dharam Kaya. In easy language, I would say, the body of Prince Siddhartha is known as Nirman Kaya. This body is also known as the body of transformation because it is a subject to various kind of changes which takes place in this world. The body does not remain same as it is. Body do suffer and do face many kinds of changes. According to Nagarjuna, a famous Buddhist philosopher, the physical body of the Buddha consists of good action performed by him in his infinite past life. All actions are full of compassion, goodwill, and kindness. So this body of Buddha takes shape according to the karmas of his past life and later got disappear or exhaust into this karma only. After this comes the body of Sambodhkaya or the body of bliss. This is the final body under the doctrine of Trikaya. This body is again corporeal like Nirman Kaya, but it is different from the body of transformation because the body of transformation, which is Nirman Kaya, is said to be limited and finite. But the body of bliss, Sambodhkaya, is not finite. Here, the word bliss, because it is known as the body of bliss, so bliss here does not mean any kind of physical happiness or pleasure, but it means spiritual happiness, which is completely pure and completely selfless. This body is said to be that body of Buddha which he gained after realizing the true nature of the reality, the true nature of the Dharma, and started enjoying this phase of his life. So this stage he also enjoys in teaching the Dharma to other people, because of which this body becomes the body of bliss or the body of enjoyment. Vasubandhu gave few characteristics of the Sambodhkaya in order to explain the nature of this body. This body consists of 5 aggregates which are also known as Spandkandas, and which are found in every individual in this world. This body is not universal body like the body of Dharamkaya. So it means it is a particular body. And the nature of this body depends upon the wish or the desire of a bodhisattva. That is, it can show different nature and different virtue in different times, because of which a same personality can appear different in different period of time. So here we saw that this body of bliss is actually depending upon the bodhisattva who enjoys teaching or helping other peoples of this world. They teach reality of this world by delaying their own nirvana. So, as I've earlier told you that only Mahayana Buddhism believes in Bodhisattva, so this body of Trikaya, which is Sambodhkaya, is not accepted by the Hinayana Buddhism. They are only accepted by the Mahayana Buddhism. So, here comes the difference. Mahayana Buddhism accepts all the three bodies of Trikaya, whereas Hinayana Buddhism only accepts the two bodies of Trikaya, which are Dharamkaya and Nirmankaya. Now let's see more difference between the Hinayan and the Mahayan on the body of the Buddha. According to the Mahayan, the body of Buddha was completely pure. It was free from all kinds of impurities which are found in others. So the personality of Buddha was transcendental. But on the other hand, according to the Hinayana, the body of Buddha was not completely free from the kinds of impurities. It is because the birth of Buddha in this world indicates certain attachment of his attachment to the worldly things and ignorance, due to which he was born in this world. And then he became pure and enlightened. So his body was not completely free from the impurities. The second point comes that according to Mahayana, every word spoken by Buddha has a spiritual meaning. There was a reason behind all these words, all his teaching, for the welfare of his fellow being. Whereas, according to Hinayan, not all these words spoken by Buddha were important. Not all the words had a spiritual meaning. His teaching was not completely perfect because sometimes his teaching had to do nothing with the reality. The third difference comes is that Mahayana believes the body of transformation or Nirmankaya is unlimited. It is beyond any kind of limitation. This body consists of wonderful powers which was result of the good karmas by the Buddha. Whereas Hinayana Buddhism believes that though Buddha was very powerful, he had wonderful powers, but the body of Nirmankaya is not the ultimate body. It did had certain kinds of limitations. Then comes the last difference on this. It is said by Mahayana that Buddha's sleep was not necessary because Buddha has no dream. He has no desire. Whereas Hinayana believes that Buddha have no dream and desire, agreed. But his sleep is necessary. It's not that he cannot sleep. So these were the difference on the view of Trikaya. So today in this module, we understood the notion of Trikaya and the three kinds of body under this, and also the difference shared by the Mahayana and the Hinayana school on this principle. That's all. Thank you.